Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 3 of Evil Genius. So, we left off in the last episode. We had a look at these new missions here. So, we have one to capture a guard, and one over here to capture a technician. And these are the two other whatchamacallit, minion types, the technician and the guard, which we need to unlock. We need them. Basically, guards are better at combat, obviously, and the technician can repair things around the base that are damaged. So that is definitely going to be useful in the future. I also now have a cat in my lap, which makes me feel like a proper evil genius sitting in my command center, trying to take over the world. I'm currently still harmless. I have one notoriety at the moment, which I gained from this act of infamy over here, which we performed. We are going to need to do more of those, obviously. We need to build a power plant. Probably want to extend the corridor a bit. Now, I kind of wish you could zoom out more. Would have been nice. I think there is a modification. Oh, hello. I think there is a modification you can do that allows that. I think there may be a config value somewhere. We have a couple of tourists here as well. I might have to look into that. Because that would be nice to be able to do. So these two, leave the corridor building for later. These two are thieves or burglars. That's what they are called. And so there are different types of agents. You have the investigators, which try to find incriminating evidence, as I explained in the previous episode. And then we have the burglars, who try to find things that you have stolen, which we are going to do eventually. And they're going to try to steal them back. Now, we don't have anything like that yet, so I'm not sure what they're doing here. I think they are sent anyway, but we don't have anything for them to steal. So they aren't really going to do anything. They can also collect heat, of course, but they don't seek out objects with heat. Agents can also gain heat from seeing you attack other agents, of course, and seeing other evil acts in progress. So they can gain heat that way. But they aren't going to, for example, collect heat from these control panels, I don't think. They might, I'm not sure. But they don't seek them out, at least. And then we have the saboteurs, which, of course, are going to try to get into your base and sabotage things by planting bombs and destroying equipment. For example, they might try to get into your power plant and take out your generators to shut down your power, which is very bad. They might try to blow up your control center or control room to hinder your operations and things like that. And then we have the assault team, which will come later. And they are exactly what it sounds like. They will just straight up assault your base. They will attack minions on sight, unlike the other types. And they are pretty nasty. But they come. They don't. They won't appear yet. They will come when we have gained a lot of notoriety. Let's unpause the game. We can. I think we can pretty much ignore these. I think they will also try to steal gold, actually. So they will try to get in here. That's why they're here. As you can see, they will stop at doors unless they are on the public security level, of course. And they will spend some time on it. They will eventually, unless they give up or get distracted by something, they will unlock it and be able to get through. So doors will only hinder them. Later on, we'll unlock higher level doors, which will hinder them for longer. Let's see. We can activate that. And we can activate that. We're going to have to keep an eye on these in case they get into the strong room. You saw here there was a knocked out worker here. He had worked too much. As you can see, working saps their attention. And if certain stats go down to 0, they may be knocked out. Others just have them standing around looking dumbfounded and being useless. I don't remember exactly which ones. I know smarts. If you lose all your smarts, they will stand around not knowing what to do. I think attention and endurance might actually cause them to collapse.
I live to serve.
I'm going to try to keep Jubei here in case we need to respond to these. I'm also going to extend the armory 3 tiles. Oh, there's an investigator as well. Great. Because I want to fit in a couple more cells. We have the security desk and the camera system. We're not going to do anything with that yet. Okay. Great. They got into the strong room. The investigator doesn't care about that because he...
Attention! This is an Anvil Word Service transmission. The chairman begs his loyal citizens to be on the lookout for suspicious foreigners on Chinese soil. The evil organization continues to prey on our civilians, perhaps hoping to somehow exploit their skills. The chairman assures you that these infidels will be stopped, and the party will once more be triumphant.
Hola, this is the Smash Force service. Citizens in all Smash territories are being urged to remain vigilant as the spate of kidnappings continues. Skilled civilians are being spirited away by the evil organizations for an unknown purpose. In an off-the-record comment, one Smash official said that the chances of rescuing the hostages were slim to none.
We cannot escape.
Okay, this is bad. So, probably want to put in some more doors blocking the exit. To ensure that agents will have a more difficult time getting out. So this guard, or this investigator, doesn't care. If I was killing these, he would get heat, which is obviously not good. So it's generally better to capture them and then potentially execute them in the armory rather than in the corridors when anyone can see. Turns out he found
Using threat.
the cell, though, which gets him a lot of heat. So we're going to want to capture him as well. We need more cells.
All construction workers are busy at the present time.
Yeah.
Object purchase delayed.
Let's see. You are a burglar. We have civilians that have wandered into the base. Oops, that's not what I want to do.
Capture tag issued.
So we want to...
Power drained. All power consuming objects offline.
Oh, right.
New rooms are available for construction.
Let's shut down the control room for now so that we get power for our doors. Since we don't have any...
Intruder tagged for capture. Warning, an object is being stolen by an intruder.
Since we don't have any backup power, the doors will all open, which is a bad thing, obviously.
Surrender is not honorable.
So we have a lot of stuff to deal with right now. I think we should have... Oh no, we don't have any increased capacity, even though we've gained a couple of points of notoriety. We're going to want to build the training room next, after the power plant.
Room construction unpaused.
Power plant is kind of important because we need more. No, that's not the one. We need more valets so we can send them out into the world to lower our heat levels a bit. And we're also going to want to be able to train technicians and guards, of course. I'm going to send a few minions here because we need to keep our money flow up. Now that is the technician. We're going to interrogate them. We can execute the burglar. Some more investigators. Probably also install a door here. You want doors every so often to keep to delay agents. Oh, looks like Jubei got knocked out by someone. Oh yeah, maybe their health do get taken out as well. But want to keep this door closed because of course when minions walk through doors, agents can slip through as well, which is not a good idea or not a great thing. So oh dear. This is not great. With Jubei knocked out, we are kind of in a bit of trouble.
Ha! It is done.
Fortunately, the henchmen regained their health pretty quickly.
Intruder alert. Security door bypassed.
We're now going to kill them, of course, so we don't have to deal with them. Going to execute the tourists as well.
All construction workers are busy.
Later on, we're going to have ways of processing
High security
prisoners without executing them. But right now, we don't have that possibility. We are going to get through that.
prisoner interrogation order confirmed. Awaiting interrogation device selection.
Don't know what happened to the technician. Oh, there they are. They never did get
Prisoner termination requested.
interrogated.
Prisoner execution order confirmed.
I suppose we might as well kill these as well. Alright. If you hold control, you can move the camera freely.
I live to sever.
Warning, burglary in progress.
Oh dear.
Intruder tagged for
If you also hold control when tagging someone, their... I think we need more personnel back at the base. I'm going to recall all my minions.
warning, high security door breached. Intruder tagged for termination.
Guards would be useful right about now, of course, because they would be able to take and deal much more damage.
Kill tag issued. Intruder tagged for termination.
That may have been bad, actually.
Tag issued.
Switching. Come on. Yes, okay. Probably maybe want to... Come on, wake up. Don't want to let them escape with any of my money. They're going to be met by a lot of minions out here, so we should be fine. These are all the ones that returned from the world. Looks like Jubei is woken up. Looks like some of these may escape, but it's not that big of a deal. One escaped. It's not that much heat per agent.
What? No blood spray?
Kill tag issued.
To make sure that this door doesn't open. There we go. Okay. So Jubei is here. Probably want to make sure that
Das ist gut, ja.
Hopefully these will get executed. Okay, guard is getting interrogated finally. Now, as you can see, you can taunt agents that you have captured, and I think that may increase your notoriety slightly. Yeah, so we got 1 point there. So 4 points. Wasn't really enough to do anything though. Okay, I think things have stabilized. Going to execute these. Oh right, execution actually needs a gun cabinet. We now have the guard. Workers use pistols or handguns, and guards use rifles. Social minions like valets, basically this entire tree, cannot use any guns, nor can technicians, which is this, or scientific minions, which is this middle tree here. So now we can interrogate the technician as well. Let's order a training room to be constructed here. That should work. Put the door over in this end opposite the power plant. In here we have the school desk, which is for the valets. It's going to put in a few of those. Laboratory workshop, which trains technicians. And then the training punch bag, which is for guards, obviously. Let's put in 3 of each. We also have the mouse maze, which is a passive object, which I think, yeah, increases attention. It can only be built in the training room. I don't think we need one of those right now. We need to conserve our money. Of course, guards sent out into the world also steal more money. Yeah. Okay, so now they can actually execute these guys, finally. We have a couple of agents there. They should not be a problem yet. There's the technician down here. Let's lower these. We want probably at least 5 of each of these. Okay, there we go. That should be within capacity. It doesn't really matter if you order more of them, because it's not going to fulfill it, obviously. And since you always get fed workers, having this too high is not going to matter, because it's going to take workers here to train more of these if you are able, and then fill in with more workers until you've reached your cap. So you will always have the most amount of these you can first, and then have as many minions you can up to capacity. So you can, yeah. Like I said, it'll go by how many these are first, or how many you've ordered of these. I don't know if gold has heat. It might. I'm not sure. Having gold isn't illegal, really, so it shouldn't. Right. There's the power plant. We're going to put in a pair of generators and then a few of these. So the capacitors are, of course, batteries, essentially. And if you lose generators or you build something that uses too much power, you're going to go into backup power, which means that you're going to run off of the capacitors until they run out, where things will shut down, or until you shut down a room to compensate. But essentially it means your doors won't stop working immediately. Okay, we're going to want to capture these now because they're in the armory.
Using threat of brave.
They took out one minion.
Surrender is not honorable.
Okay, 2 minions.
Yeah.
Let's have our evil genius still in here. I think should be a button to reset the camera, but I don't remember what that is. We also want to do a few more of these. So we're going to send out 4 minions there with the hopes of getting some more infamy. We also need money. We need money to complete the training room, so we can actually train up the minions.
What's this?
Of course, you can only taunt each prisoner once. Then we are going to execute them. We now have 38 capacity, so we can bump this up a bit. To make sure we are getting the most amount of minions we can, because we need them for lots of things. Could also buy more lockers, but they are kind of expensive. So I'm not going to do that. That guy broke through that door but doesn't have any heat or hasn't stolen anything. The burglar that has taken, or an investigator, I think they can take things as well, that has taken an object or money will have a giant backpack on their back, of course, so you can tell who has something. Yeah, I think all the agent types except the assault ones. The assault ones will only attack pretty much. I think they can take things as well. They won't steal gold, but they will take objects if they find them, try to recover them. But all the other agent types can do any task. They just have different focuses.
Hello, Delhi. This is Abdul's Eye in the Sky, reporting on traffic from the top of an elephant. From up here, I can see a tailback ahead caused by a sacred cow in the road. There is also a tailback behind me caused by stress by my elephant. Moving on to news from the subcontinent, the evil mastermind has struck again, despite the best efforts of Sable's colonial forces.
Okay then. Yeah, some of the broadcasts are a bit silly, perhaps. But oh well. We now have 43 capacity because we gained some notoriety from that act of infamy. Here's a valet training you worker to become another valet, which is great. I'm going to decrease that by 5 and then put the amount of guards up to 5 because we need them to defend the base, and they are useful. And that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to continue working towards world domination in the next one, of course. And I will see you then.